Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the Korea Press Foundation and the Kwanhun Journalist Club for giving me such an opportunity to share experience with senior media professionals and fellow journalists. I'm so glad to be here today, and I hope my presentation will not be boring. I try as much as I can to make it precise, informative, and interesting. First, let me introduce my journalism background. I am a reporter of local news at an Egyptian newspaper, which is the Egyptian Gazette. It's one of the oldest English language daily newspaper in the Middle East region, and it's one of two printed English language newspapers in Egypt. And the newspaper has a long history of reporting. It covered remarkable political events in Egypt. So it covered the negotiations that led to an end to the British occupation of Egypt, the building of the Aswan High Dam and the Suez Crisis, also the wars in 1956, 1973, 1967. So it has a long history of reporting. The newspaper now relays local and international business, political, sports, entertainment, and social news to the outside world. And I got a book. So the book was released on the 130th anniversary of the newspaper, and it shows how the newspaper covered a lot of political events. The newspaper is now facing a lot of financial issues, but it's surviving. And it's not only the Egyptian Gazette. A lot of Egyptian newspapers are facing financial issues. And these are the three major newspapers in Egypt, the Farouk and the Gazette is part of Al-Gombraya. Al-Gombraya is a big press institution in Egypt, and the Gazette is part of this. So all Egyptian newspapers are now struggling because of widespread shift to digital news media in Egypt and an advertising decline that followed the January 25 revolution. The January 25 revolution affected many sectors in Egypt, and of course the news media was part of this. So the newspapers are having hard times. The digital news media in Egypt is growing rapidly. Egypt has one of the most visited and effective news website or portal in the Middle East region, which is Yom Saba, the seventh day, and was selected twice by the Forbes Middle East as the most effective and influential news portal in the Middle East. The Gazette also had a website, but it was hacked last year, and now it's under construction. And it was very effective and influential. So if you see the internet penetration rate in Egypt, so a lot of people are accessing the internet and they are using mobile phones. So in 2005, it was 11.7% of the total population, which is 86 million. The total population is 86 million. In April 2013, it's 40.14% of the population. So it's growing very rapidly. Also, the mobile phone use is growing rapidly. So in 2005, it's 18% of the population. In April 2013, it's 113% of the population. So, and despite the fact that the Egyptian newspaper industry has gone a rapid development over the past decades, it's losing its charm because of the new technology and the internet. So by the end of the 19th century, there were only 14 newspapers in Egypt. They were owned by the government and the parties, and there were only 10 TV stations and about 2 or 3 radio stations. But now, Egypt has over 600 newspapers, journals, magazines, and they are owned by the government, parties, and businessmen. And now there are over 100 TV stations in Egypt. And many radio stations, there are about 20 or so. So it's very large. So the Egyptian media now delivers a diversity of ownership and a pluralism of views. So they are owned by several parties, and they display a pluralism of views, a lot of point of views. So the press freedom in Egypt is a big issue, but now there is it's improving actually, press freedom. Now there is a new media draft law, and it's viewed by most journalists as an honest translation of the Constitution, because it enshrines press freedom, national responsibility, and self-accountability. It's also is viewed as fair and transparent selection, so it's going to allow fair and transparent selection of editors-in-chief and board chairman. We hope so. The draft law also, which is a big achievement, ends freedom restricting penalties in publishing cases. So according to the law, journalists will not be punished for publishing anything against the government, or so it's a big achievement. And also it unifies the matter of the Egyptian press and other media services. Now there is a big hope among journalists that the new law would be a turning point for the Egyptian news industry in Egypt, which serves as a platform for reliable and abundant information, much needed for a healthy society and robust democracy. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, any questions?
I just would like to ask about are there reported violence against media in your country?
The violence against
Media.
media. Yes, there were some cases, but we have a problem in this, but we are trying to I think the government or the media institutions are trying to press for more freedom in the media. So there is that draft law, which is good, and which I think many journalists hope that this will be a turning point for the news industry, and for many journalists, because some journalists are having hard times in Egypt, but I think it's getting a little bit better. Yeah.
Is this the situation, the changes in the situation, and also the level of the press freedom?
Yes.
Is it your uprising in
Yes.
2013?
2011.
11, right?
Yes.
Sorry, 11. Was
There
it?
was another revolution in 2013.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is it? How did it have affected? Is it the outcome of that uprising?
Yes, yes, it is the outcome of the uprising. The revolution was for freedom, and so I think it reflected in the media. So, yes, it's the outcome of the revolution, and we now have a lot of points of view, and you can criticize the government, you can criticize everyone. So it is because of the revolution.
And what are the portion ratio of the female journalists in Egypt?
I think it's high. Yes.
Half and half?
Yes, half and half. Yeah, but I think the editors-in-chief believe that this is not good, because they get pregnant and they have to have vacation, leave. So they hire other journalists part-time. So this is not good for them. But I think the ratio of female journalists is very high.
Any more questions?